Hey there everyone, welcome back to Game Vine, and my name is Dave, and today we are going to be reviewing a game called Twinkle. Let's do it. Now Twinkle is brought to us by V Games. Now this will be a Kickstarter on December 1st, so disclaimer, anything that you see in today's copy is just the prototype. There might be some changes, and I guarantee there will be changes if there be some stretch goals. With that being said, this game is designed by Theo Carvunas, I hope I said that right, and he is a renowned designer. It's got a bunch of dice, and I'm a sucker for dice. I love luck-based dice games. They're one of my favorite, and it has these kind of like matchsticks that you're going to be connecting, and there are different ways that the dice actually score based on what color and number and size and so many different things. So without further ado, let me show you what comes in the box. I'll show you how to play, and then I'll get back to my opinion after that. Let's go. So this is what comes in the box of Twinkle. Now, there are so many dice, and I love to see that. Now they're in different colors, but you have the same amount of dice for each color. You got 4-sided dice, a 6-sided dice, an 8-sided dice, a 10-sided dice, and a 12-sided dice. Respective for each color, you have these little chunky wooden bits, which are just cubes, but these mash sticks, kind of log pieces, don't look too impressive at first, but man, the feel of them are really quality. They got a nice finish on them, and they're pretty nice. The cards are a decent finish, not too thick, not too thin, just right. And then the cardboard component right here, the starting piece of the board, is decent as well. So that's what you get in the box. Now let me show you how to play. Okay, so this is the game set up for 3 players. You'll have 5 scoring cards out. Each player gets 7 connectors, and the game will be consisted over a certain amount of rounds, and all you're going to be doing is choosing one dice, and there are 2 ways that you can do that. You can either choose 3 dice of the available ones up here and roll them, and then choose one out from the results, or you can choose one of these 8-sided dice and keep the side that's showing automatically and place it to your connector. So what are you actually doing in this game? Well, you're taking dice and you're connecting them together and trying to connect them in a way that scores accordingly to the cards and that correspond to the certain dice. So sometimes you'll want to get groupings of the same colors, sometimes you'll want to get grouping of same numbers, but you always have to connect in a certain way. Let me explain. So the first connection is pretty easy. You're just going to take a dice after you roll the result, and preferably you want to get something that's high and put it right down here. Now, any dice that is connected from here on will have to be lower than the 9 here. So next time, if I choose to just take one of these 8-sided dice, I can just put the 7 right here. But I can also break these off if I want to, and then put another connector sprouting off this way, like this. And as long as the number is lower than the number that I'm connecting it to, I can continue to do that until 1 is hit, and then once 1 is there, you can no longer branch off because you can't do anything equal. If there are no more moves that you can make, well, you're done to the end of the game, and then you'll be waiting to the scoring part. So the name of the game is to get the most points by doing certain ways of scoring. Again, on your turn, you just take 3 of any dice that you want, roll them, take 1, or take a 8-sided dice from the middle. Now let me go over scoring. So for the blue dice, for every pair of dice that are connecting that are blue, you get 4 points. So if I did this right here, say 4 and 2, I would get 4 points. But if I had it just like this, I would get 5 because I get 1 point for every other blue dice that are just in my constellation. Now the black dice are weird. They are multiplied by the sum of a black dice that are under them. So in this case here, if I had a 3 and then I got a 2, connecting it, it would be 3 times 2, which will be 6. Now yellow are cool because it doesn't matter where they end up, as long as they are touching, the more the merrier, it says, the more points you get. So in this case, I would get 6 points, and in this case, I would get 3. And the green dice are, they score 1 point for themselves, and then another point for every dice that have the same amount of size as it, but is a different color. So this right here, I would get 2 points for that green. Purple dice is really simple too. They'll just get 1 dice for every connection they have. So this right here, they would get 2 points if this be the case. Now in the red's case, you would have to either continue to get evens or odds, and as you get more points, you would get an extra point for the red. And there are other ways to score, like the Twinkle, and then there are various cards that kind of spice up the game that I'm not going to go into. But once you become an expert, you'll be able to play this with those cards. But that is the basic gameplay. You'll continue to play your turns until you can no longer make any connection because the score is too low, or you've run out of connectors and everyone at the table has done so. Then you'll calculate your score and see who wins, and that is how you play. The cool thing is you can flip this bad boy over and you can use this as a scoring track. There's where these cubes come into play. So you just kind of go pew, 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 and then you can see who the winner is. Now let me tell you what I think about this game. So that was Twinkle. Now again, this is going to be a Kickstarter. This is a preview more than it is a review, so I'm not going to give this game a grade, but I'm going to say I like it quite a bit. Now, there is some potential for it to get much better. This is a game that I'm definitely recommending, and once it's on Kickstarter, if it isn't already, if you're watching this video right now, you should definitely back it if it's up right now. Just a super fast and super light dice game where you can add just a few more things to make it just even better. The one thing that I would say is that I would like a reference card for the scoring just like read out, because sometimes I had to go back to the rule book and actually figure that out. But it was a minor nuisance. It wasn't a big deal because it does have the cards right up top to kind of give you a picture-esque of what the dice actually score. And once you know what it actually scores, then you don't need the index card. But it would be nice to have. And the fact that it is super fast, you can bust out these games a lot. I like dice games that you can do fast and you can do kind of compact. Now this has a bigger footprint than most smaller dice games, but I'm okay with that. And the thinkiness of it, sometimes it's just, it does lend itself to a little bit of AP, but not much, because it is a dice kind of luck. Sometimes you're just going to be guided to the strategy that you're going to do in the present game, and sometimes the 8-sided dice, when they're rolled, they kind of predicate what strategy you're going to be doing. If you're going to do the green dice, I like doing the black dice and gambling, but sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. And I just like the nuanced rules where you have to have a lower dice underneath and you can break them off. It's such a charming little dice game that I hope gets a little bit more oomph to crank it up to 11, because this game, again, I'm recommending it as a good kind of family-like dice game. Now, people who like production type games that want more production than this game, it's just missing the mark here. But again, once it's on Kickstarter, you can probably get a nicer version if we all back it and get some awesome stretch goals. Like, I think it would be fantastic if you had a space kind of mat, like these little mouse pads. If you have one of those space mats to play the game on it, so you're expanding your dice through space. Oh, that would be so cool. Oh, and you can have even more extra dice to have different variant rolls. I know I didn't go over the variant cards, but there are some cool ones in there, and I'll let you explore that once the game actually comes out. But if you can have like sparkly dice or just different kind of dice that you can add in, because I mean it has a whole bunch of dice right now. Why not add 1 or 2 more sets if you have a stretch goal or something like that? It's just my pipe dreams and kind of what I want. Those 3 things: an index card for the scoring would be great, and having a mat for the space atmosphere would be kind of cool, and some more sparkly dice. That'd be kind of cool. But again, that is Twinkle. I like this game quite a bit. Thank you so much, V-Games, for sending me this preview copy of the game. I really do appreciate you helping the channel grow. I hope this game gets funded, because I would love to see a higher produced copy, but for what it is right now, it's not too bad. So thank you so much for joining me in today's preview slash kind of review. And if you liked the video, click like, and if you haven't already, click subscribe. And until the next time that I see you, I am Dave, and have a great rest of your day and a great time with all that you play. I'm out. Bye. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.